G'day and welcome to chapter 36 of my RX323 resto videos. In this video, I get the heater fixed up, I'll get the heater box back together and put back in the car. I'll also get a new rear ground strap in around the gearbox area as well. I fixed up the rear gearbox mount. I wasn't really happy with how I'd put that together, so I'd redo that. And also get my wideband gauge working. So, I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so this is the plan for the heater. So I've got some heater elements here, which are going to go on my bracket here, which will go inside the heater box to replace the heater core. So I've got two elements. I've got it hooked up to the battery on the car with these two wires here going to the positive and negative. And this is a rear stat, so it's got a little switch which switches it on and off, and adjusts the voltage as well. So it's usually 12 volts all this. If you watch I can adjust it 1, 2, 3 volts all the way up to full voltage. So I've also got my temperature thing here, so it's already showing here 24 degrees just from that little warm up. So I'll just crank it up the voltage, so I'll put it, say, maybe 4 volts, and this should start, there we go, 29 degrees, 31, 32, this one as well, 33, 34. So the temperature's rising on these. So it's up to 40 degrees already, so it's already starting to crank up. I've tried them, these will get up to about 100 degrees, but not the whole, so it's just the elements here, which is where all the heat is. So on the side here, you can still see it's 23 degrees, 24 degrees, but in the middle, or it's already at 52 degrees, and I can already start to feel some heat coming from those. So, yeah, I'll start to put them together now and stick them in the car. So I've cut the bracket and mounted the two elements inside the bracket here. So you can see them there, and the wires go through there, so they're mounted up there, and then the wires coming up through this grommet into this little wiring harness I've made. I've just blocked off, this is where the old heater hoses used to come out of the heater box. So now it's time to put it together and put it in the car, and then we'll connect this up to my rear stat so we can get it to work. So here, this is the old heater tap out of the car with the plunger to open and shut the valve. This is the bracket that was holding on there, and then the cable would open and shut this valve by this part just here. So what I've done, I've repurposed a lot of the parts off here and made this little bracket here. So this is where the cable used to hook up, just here on this little bit here, and I've just repurposed this onto this is the rear stat knob to turn on and off. I've just aerodieted it and tapped and screwed little screws in there, so that's rock solid on there now and that won't come off. So I've made this bracket as well to hold the rear stat and the little control part for the rear stat to adjust the voltage going to the heater. So I've mounted this little bracket. This is going to go up underneath the dash. So what happens, this is where the heater cable will come through this way and down through here and hook up to this on here, and then turn the switch. So I repurposed this old clip as well. I just measured the distance carefully from the mounting point to the edge here, so this will clip in and hold into place like that. So that's going to sit up underneath the dash. So originally the heater cable came down and went this way to the heater tap, so I've just rerouted it around and twisted it around this way. So now it's going to go through here, lock onto here, add onto here, and then pushes that throw and turns the heater on and off. So that way I don't have to have another switch in the car. I can use the original sliding hot to cold in the heater panel. So it's just mounted up to this bracket here. I've just put a little bit of insulation in here so it doesn't short out. That's going to sit in there like that. This is a little connector which goes up to the heater elements inside the heater box. There's the positive and negative coming out of the heater box, and it's just going to plug in here, so this is easy to get in and out. That's my earth, which is going to go around and mount up onto where it mounts onto the body, and I've got my power, which will just go into there. So fit it to the car now and see if it works. Okay, it's a bit hard to see, but there it is there now bolted in. It's right above the tacho. So you can see that the heater cable now comes up. It goes onto here and it's bolted on, and there's another bracket in there. So there's the heater panel. So when I move this, it turns it on and turns it off with the heater cable. Nice work. A couple of little mods I've done. I've just made these little brackets. So there's one here, just on the bottom of the heater box, just to hold that cable. I'm just going to cable tie that to there. And also over here as well, I've mounted up the ECU properly. I've actually rubber mounted this now. I was having heaps of trouble with the car running, and I found that when it was earthed to this, it wouldn't run. It would cut out the injector pulse. I've now rubber mounted it anyway, so I've just put another little bracket under here just so I can hold up all those, and that'll all tuck up behind the carpet and be out of sight and out of mind, but we'll just have the ECU still seen because I like seeing that sort of stuff. So you might remember in one of the previous videos I wanted to have a wideband oxygen sensor and gauge set up in the car so I can monitor the fuel mixtures in it. It's pretty important, I think, in a rotary to monitor those, so you don't want it running too lean, otherwise you damage your apex seals. So I started installing that when I was doing the exhaust. I welded the bung in. I'm a bit worried that maybe I've put that bung a little bit too close to the engine. You've got to have it a certain distance away, otherwise it's going to cook the sensor. I guess time will tell on that. So most of it's all installed now, so this is what it looks like. So there's the oxygen sensor there. It's just sitting there screwed into the exhaust, all nice and tight. And then the wiring for that comes up through here, past the brake booster, and in through the firewall. And then it rounds out, meeting up with the oxygen sensor wideband gauge, which is just here, which is now mounted to the dash. So most of the wiring that comes up through here, underneath that carpet mat, and onto the gauge. So now I'm going to turn it on. And it's working. Just a little tip when you're wiring in these oxygen sensors. This one's a heated oxygen sensor, so it's got to have heat for it to warm up in the exhaust system for it to work properly. Make sure you have that wired up through the ignition as when the ignition comes on, like it says in instructions, not on all the time. Otherwise you'll come out to your car and find it's got a flat battery, like I did. Idiot. I've just done a bit more tidying up under here as well, just making sure all my cables and that aren't hanging around. I've just rerouted the wiring harness here so it's a bit more hidden, just make the engine a bit more cleaner as well. Another thing that's been bugging me is the oil pressure gauge has just got this spade terminal on it. And then one of my guys at work pointed out, it's just a bolt there. Why don't you put an eyelet so then it's not, you don't have to worry about it coming off or being loose or anything like that. Now it looks like that. So here's the battery for the car and the negative terminal, and it goes down here and there's a bolt to the chassis there, but I've also got this strap here which goes to the top of the engine mount to earth the engine mount back to the body, but that cable's pretty ugly. And quite frankly, cable, I don't like you.
I don't like you either.
So I'll change out this cable and put a more modern looking one in there with the proper earth straps and hide it better so it doesn't stick out like that. So I put a bit of thought onto where I'm going to put the new ground strap. I wanted to try and move it away from the front of the engine because most of the current when you start the car is drawn through the starter motor. The starter motor is at the rear of the bell housing, more towards the gearbox. So I thought probably best to have a ground strap towards the gearbox end of the engine. So this is where I've done it. So here it is here. Here's the new ground strap to the gearbox, and it's going to go onto the gearbox mount straight onto the chassis. One of the other areas I wasn't real happy about was this rear gearbox mount. What I'd done, I'd elongated these holes here. I'd also elongated or changed the holes on the actual mount where it bolts onto the gearbox. So it was sitting right on the edge of the gearbox mount, the bolt hole. So I had to move this back from here to here. So this part of the mount was originally here. So what I did is I cut it out here, and what I've done is welded in this plate here and then drilled the holes in there as well. And another part I need to do is the exhaust comes really close to here, so I just got to move that up a bit. So I've just sliced it there like that, and I'm just going to weld in a little piece in here just to strengthen that up, and then weld down where I've cut it there to help it bend. So there's the mount, it's back on with the earth strap in there as well. As you can see, I finally got now some clearance with the exhaust as well, and the mount is mounted nice and solid and isn't going to go anywhere now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye! Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video, I've still got lots more to do on the car. I've got some heat management I need to sort out. I've also got a new bonnet cable to fit. I've got little indicator cancelling button on the car is broken as well. Tailgate, rear tailgate strut is broken, so I need to get that sorted as well. And I start looking at getting maybe some engineering done on the car as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye now.